Hey Nick, I just have a question. Is uh is the MR2 back?
No, I did get an update an hour ago, so it's put
Oh,
together. It runs. Temperatures are fine. There's no smoke. The throttle is sticking
okay.
now, which like thankfully it's a cable throttle, so there's only one thing in the system that can go wrong.
Uh-huh.
Is that either the cable is somehow frayed somewhere,
Hmm.
or maybe
Oh, it's
when
like
they put the
cinching on
intake
something.
manifold, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe when they put the intake manifold and stuff back on, they didn't route it entirely properly. Or like my throttle cable goes through the old mechanical cruise control box, because old mechanical cruise control, literally there was like a box in the engine bay and the cable would go through it. When you turned on cruise control, it would basically just, there was like a mechanism in there that would like pull or loosen the cable.
Right.
That's how they did cruise control before drive by wire.
Hmm.
So that part, I mean, has been on the car since new, so it's got like 305K on it. Maybe it's sticking a little bit in there.
Hmm.
So they're gonna look into that, and then like that's it.
Right. So we're getting real close, but we've been getting real close for a couple of weeks. I'm sorry to tease you. This
Oh
may
no,
be
it's fine. It is what it is, right?
this may be the if something needs to be replaced, this may be the thing that pushes it over into the five-figure mark.
It might be.
Yeah. So now we're at the edge of our seats. If it's five
It
figures,
might
it's
be.
really
Well,
something
I mean,
else.
it was already in the high fours
Yeah.
before the whole axle thing that they had to repair,
Mm.
like um like the locking bolts that were causing, like they were kind of eating into the cage housing, so they fixed that up for me. So
Right.
I'm gonna be really close, potentially in the fives.
Yeah. Really close. Now it's just the over under on whether or not it actually breaches five figures or not.
Yeah,
So if you're listening and you aspire to own a classic car, save your pennies, because
yeah. I mean, it's like it's the reality of it. If you want to own a '90s car and well, a '90s JDM, I'm not gonna say hero car because the MR2 is not a hero car, but '90s Japanese sports car. I mean, like parts are scarce, parts are expensive, labor isn't cheap. You
yeah.
know, if you're sending it out to get it done, yeah, you'll probably get a $10,000 bill at some point, depending on what you need.
Well,
So could I have done this all myself? Yeah, probably. It probably wouldn't even have been started at this point. I still don't have
likely.
access to the lift, so it like the car probably just would have been off the road this season, and I would have dealt with it over the next winter or
Hmm.
something.
Is there ever a world where you? This is a bit of an aside, but purchase your own lift? Uh, do you think that's in the future? I know you need like certain clearances and stuff. Like it's not. I
Yeah,
For those who don't
like
know, it's
for it
not
to
that simple.
actually make sense, like if you want like an actual mechanics lift, like your garage has to be tall enough.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you can't really raise the car high enough for it to make a difference versus getting like quick jacks or something for most jobs.
Right. Do you
Um, I
remember?
am I am
Mhm.
considering at some point getting like a four post storage lift. That
Mm.
way I can like sort of stack um the MR2 and the Supra in the winter instead of going three wide like I have to right now.
Right.
Um, and you can get four post lifts that have like arms in the middle that will let you raise the car sort of just enough to get it off the lift, so you can do work on it.
Right.
So maybe something like that, but we'll
Mm.
see.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you remember we went? I don't remember if you were there, but we went once with our friend to get an alignment, and they had actually cut a hole in the ceiling to make the lift fit.
Yes, I remember that was that place, actually kind of near where we meet when we used to go to the Cambridge Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
It was a weird thing.
He had that, like it was like that nondescript shop behind his house.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he did
Yeah, I
do work,
remember.
but it was so yeah, it was just very like, yeah, you know what? It didn't fit. I cut a hole in the fucking roof. So excuse
Yeah,
me.
I mean the issue with my house is I can't do that because there's a bedroom right above the garage. So
Right. Well, yeah, I
I need to
wouldn't.
get something that fits sort of within. I think it's like a 10-foot ceiling.
Right. No, and that's understandable. I I wanted to talk about this because we both, I wouldn't say we both own it. I don't own it, but we do have access to older vehicles. Sorry, I just segued right in there. But we do have access to older vehicles, and I was today. I had to drive because my car is still down. The tires. Little update on that. I ordered tires for my popped tire car, and they still have not shipped. So I called the supplier and I was like, "Hey man, like normally you guys are very quick. What the fuck?" And they're like, "Yeah, we don't even have them. And when we get them, then we'll ship them to you. You're not gonna see them until like Friday of next week, if you're lucky. It could be even further." I'm like, "Cool. Cancel it." So I'm paying more money for these tires, but I can't. It's like a $40
I mean,
difference. Not the end of the
it's
world,
40
but
bucks at the end of the
yeah,
day.
it doesn't
If you're
matter. Like
sweating 40 bucks, it's time for the bus.
if it's absolutely, it's if it was once it hits like 100 something, it's like, you know what, I can wait, like whatever. But like $40 and I don't have to wait a week of driving, as I said, sort of a shit box. I'll just spend the $40 and pick them up. I could have picked them up today. They're like, yeah, come get them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it in time, so tomorrow morning. But I was thinking about this because I was driving that car and I was driving some people around, and they were like, it's older, but it's a good car. Like, 2007 Corolla, nothing wrong with it. Like, it's a
Yeah.
little beat up on the outside. Someone door dinged the shit out of me at lunch today. Bad one. Um,
But isn't that the best part about it? Is like they did that, and it's like, oh, okay,
I'm not gonna lie, it was so bad it kind of bugged me. But yeah, I'm like, whatever, it is what it is now. Like, I'm not gonna fix it. Like,
yeah.
you
But it's
know.
like if it were the Golf, you would be like seething
Oh,
mad.
I would lose my shit. Yeah, I would lose
Yeah,
my
but
shit.
because it's that car, you're like,
I'm gonna start
all
taking
right,
pictures of everybody on either side when I park, so I can have their plate, and just in case. But yeah, so they were like, this car's like the only thing it's really missing is like a proper infotainment screen with like CarPlay or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, like it's perfectly serviceable. If you didn't give a shit about cars, you just needed to go point A to point B, good car. Nothing wrong with it.
yeah,
But it did get me thinking, and the reason I'm bringing it up is I've known people who've upgraded a perfectly good vehicle to something far worse purely because they wanted some like bullshit like creature comfort. You know what I mean? Like I've like that infotainment thing. I've genuinely heard people like, I just want a car with navigation. That was I've known people who've upgraded, not known personally. I know of people who upgraded their car just because they wanted Bluetooth. That's it. And those are obviously all infotainment related, but like there are a number of terrible reasons to upgrade your perfectly good vehicle. And I thought it would be a good time to talk about them because there are also good reasons to upgrade your vehicle. So maybe we can bounce some back and forth and then maybe inform someone on whether or not they're an idiot for their desires. So,
yeah,
I would, like, as I said, infotainment. If you're like, oh, I need to be able to plug my phone in and see my music and like, that's a shit fucking reason. That's a terrible reason. Like,
yeah.
you
Like
have a
that's not a
solution.
reason to fully change and upgrade your car.
No. But you have a solution, like a cheap solution in the vibe.
Yeah, so like in the Vibe, I got it on Amazon. I forget how much I paid. It was either $99 or like $129. But it's literally like, how like you get like a Garmin sat nav unit or whatever, and it's got the suction cup to the windshield.
Yeah.
It's basically that, except it's just a little tablet that runs. You can run Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on it, and like it connects wirelessly to CarPlay. At least I'm pretty sure it does Android Auto wirelessly as well. But
Right.
um, yeah, like it'll run that on the little display, so you can have Spotify, Maps, whatever, and then it just connects to the head unit with Bluetooth, or you can use an aux cable
Yeah.
if you don't have Bluetooth.
So my conundrum here, because we were just talking about this, is so the Corolla, it's a 2007 Corolla. It does not have any sort of extra, so it doesn't have an aux, it definitely does not have Bluetooth. So for someone in that situation, you could also just go and buy a $200 head unit A lot of them are now, like, it used to be back in the day, you remember, Nick, like the old Pioneer head units, you're wiring a fucking wiring harness for every single one. They were not plug and play units early on.
Yeah, now you just get like a Metra
Yeah.
stereo kit. It's just you plug one end of the harness into your factory harness, the other end into the aftermarket radio, and you're
Yeah.
sailing.
Some of these Chinese ones, like the Android ones especially, they're made specifically for XYZ vehicle. You plug them straight fucking in with the.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I had the BRZ, I replaced the factory head unit with literally the Chinese. I think it was a Joying,
Joying.
like
Yeah, they do a lot of.
Joying, Joying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, like it came with its own adapter harness. So I just
Yeah.
plugged one end into the stereo, the other end into the factory harness, and um plugged like the antenna wires and everything in, and that was it. If you don't have a backup camera or like steering wheel controls or anything, really easy to
Oh, it's
install.
super easy. So it's on an older car, like they're dead easy because there's none of that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like at some point I'd like to do that for the Corolla because that's really the only thing wrong with it. I mean, the shocks are a little iffy. Shocks and struts kind of need to be replaced, but that's just a wear thing. Like that's not like like, you
Yeah,
know.
and you can buy like quick strut kits. That's literally like the strut with the spring and the top hat all in one, and you just
Yeah, yeah.
unbolt the old one, bolt the
Just
new one
needs an
in.
alignment and you're good to go. And they're cheap. Like they're crazy cheap now, like especially for those economy cars.
Yeah,
So I
like
think
for KY, if you get like KYB quick struts or something, like for a Corolla, like you could probably get them for like $90 to $110 a corner.
yeah, something like that. It might even be less. But yeah, they're cheap as shit. So I would say infotainment's a stupid fucking reason to upgrade a car. Like just you're if you especially I think people also misunderstand or not misunderstand, but they're doing a lot of stupid things. If you have a super reliable like economy era Toyota vehicle like that late 2000s Toyota, that's like peak like reliability, but still slightly modern. You can go back to the 90s; they're even more reliable, arguably, but they're definitely going to be lacking a lot more. They're not. They're going to be very clearly of that era. You're going to have a tape
Yeah.
deck, so for me like that's almost the perfect. And then people will get rid of those cars and upgrade them to a fucking like a late model
Lantra.
Hyundai Elantra. Yeah, like the one that ruined my car. But they'll do that, and then they'll be like, yeah, it's good. It's a new car. There's not like less to go wrong. Not true. Not the old Toyota
Yeah,
engines are better.
yeah, I think a lot of people just sort of get caught up in like I don't want to say the glitz because there is no glitz to Hyundai ownership, but
No.
like the ooh factor of having a new car.
Yeah, new
When
shiny.
like really, like if you think about it, if the car you're trading in has like if you've got power windows, power locks, and air conditioning, and you put an Android head unit in, like maybe short of heated seats, that's all you're really missing from upgrading to a new sort of like entry level car.
Yeah. As far as bells and whistles go, yeah, I think the only major step forward that we've had is backup cameras, which are now standard. At
Yeah,
least in Canada, they're standard. Um,
yeah,
and then yeah, like heated seats are pretty fucking common. Like it's
yeah. I mean, like I guess I can give radar cruise control as well because I guess that's nice to have if you use it. Like I'll be 100% honest, I never use cruise control.
never, not even a little bit. I think I only
Never.
ever
Like
used it.
I'll take like 4, 5, 6 hour road trips and just never even think that it's there.
I think the only time I've actually used it was my most. I took a trip up to Sault Ste. Marie, and honestly, in the middle of the night on a Thursday night, just gunning like at 140. Like I think I had it on for a little bit, and then I shut it off because I just preferred to modulate the throttle myself. Like I just,
Yeah.
But you just go if you ever get the opportunity to drive up north on a weekday, oh, there ain't nobody there, buddy. You just fucking go
Yeah.
for it. Just you and the forest demons. Just fucking go
Yeah.
for it, dude.
Yeah.
Forest
I mean,
demons make you drive faster.
if the car you're upgrading from already has cruise control, then really it's just the radar feature you're maybe
Yeah.
not getting because not all entry level cars come with radar cruise these days. And You
That's
know, like
true.
I'm sure some people will say like, "Oh, well, what about lane departure assist and all of that shit?" And then I don't know. My response to that is if you actually use any of that and need it to drive, you should probably just take the bus.
You should hand in your license. I hate like lane departure is one of the more infuriating technologies that have ever come on a vehicle. I
Yeah, if you need like blind spot monitoring and lane departure assist and like auto emergency braking and all of that, it's because you're not meant to drive.
yeah,
You're meant to be on the bus.
the only reason my auto emergency braking is on is because every time I shut the car off, it turns itself back on, and I just stopped
Yeah,
caring. Like I'm like I can't keep.
I literally coded it off in the
I don't
Supra
know.
with Beamer Link.
I just don't want it to throw fucking codes. Everything on this fucking thing throws codes if you code anything out. So anyway, no, yeah, that's a terrible idea. And honestly, a lot, yeah, like I said, a lot of features are stupid. Like even, like I even think to myself, like there's some features that genuine, it's just more shit to break. You know what I mean? Like, and then the car is gonna be unhappy. Like it's not worth it.
It's just more, but like it like promotes being a shitty driver,
I
and
agree.
will argue that, but I'm sorry, like it does. Like you don't need blind spot monitoring. It's called a shoulder check and adjusting your mirrors.
Yeah, no, you don't
If
need it.
that's too much for you while driving, then like I said, that's why they make the bus.
Yeah, that's what it's for. I the only thing that I the only modern technology that I feel like I agree with, and not for myself, for other people, and it doesn't bother me, is reverse cameras. Because I think, as much as I think you should be capable, and I am, ladies, capable of reversing a vehicle, I know that people are all the other stuff you can kind of be like, you got to figure it out. With reversing, it's like, for some people, spatial shit is just difficult, and I would rather they didn't ding my car. So,
I'm fine with reverse cameras, and like credit where credit's due, reverse cameras do make it easier for like if you're backing out of a spot, the camera can usually see out of the spot
yeah.
in the areas that you can't through the mirrors in the window,
Mm-hmm.
specifically out the back.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's fine. Nothing wrong with backup cameras, but all that other shit, nah.
Would you say, so on the topic of upgrading, would you say that it's like if you're doing a head unit, you can get one of the ones that has like a backup camera feature, right? Because if you don't have a backup camera, you really want a backup camera. I don't think that's a reason to upgrade a vehicle.
No, you can just get a head unit that comes with one. There's ones that you can either install directly on the trunk a lot of times, or there's ones that do that sort of like plate bracket,
I hate
but the
that plate
camera's
one.
part of the bracket.
Ugh.
But it works.
Yeah. I know it works. It just disgusts me. It just looks disgusting. But whatever. Yeah, but I agree. Like, so that those are two bad reasons. Backup camera, infotainment, terrible reasons. Can you think of a genuinely outside of like maybe like a maintenance, because maintenance is obviously the most apparent one. If the vehicle is constantly costing you money, if the repairs are getting more and more expensive and frequent, it may be time. But then there's the other side of it where like most people are patching up the engine that's already in the vehicle, right? They're like, this is what it came in the vehicle. It's fucking, I had to, oh fuck, I had to do this, I have to do that. Oh, the head gas. At what point do you just go rip it all out and go get a junkyard one that's maybe slightly better and put it, like, do you think that's effective, or is it just fuck it, send it to hell?
As somebody who's spent multiple times what their car is worth in upgrades and maintenance,
Mm,
it's usually best to just send it to the scrapyard
fair enough.
and just get something newer or that works.
Mm,
Um, and I say that as someone who I understand the irony in that I'm about to probably spend five figures
yes.
on something I probably should have just sent to the scrapyard.
Well, at least it has some value to it. It's not a fucking old Toyota Matrix or a Pontiac Vibe. It's not it basically my rule would
Vibes are
be
rare these days. I'm
vibes
the
are
vibe.
rare. He is
No,
the vibrator. Ladies, he is the vibrator. No, I think it's just like, what's the rule? Like, at what point of spending is if the repair is worth the vehicle, like the cost of the
I
vehicle?
think it's once you're spending like, and it's relative to how much you paid for the vehicle, but once you're spending like probably 60 to 70% of what you paid for the vehicle in maintenance over a 1 year period, probably time to look at, is it worth doing this, or do I just get something newer, more reliable, etc.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a feeling like I just feel like there's a number to put. I just to me,
Or it's like if you're not the type to buy things in cash, then it's like look at what your repair bills are, average out what it costs monthly over 12 months, and then say, is this as much as financing or leasing
or
any car?
leasing. Yeah, I think that's for me. It's just like you look at it. Is it worth more than the car to repair it? Because that's an easy one. Because if you get a, I don't know, whatever, something fucking blows, your car is worth, like, you bought the Vibe for what, $2,500?
Is it 25? Yeah, I think it
20,
was 2,500
25
plus,
or
I think,
29.
like 31 or 3,200.
Sure. So if you were to basically be, I know you likely either repair yourself or you have, like, have family connection, but just like if you were given a repair bill of some description, somehow it's $3,000. Are you repairing it, or are you going, fuck it, send it to the fucking...
If I got a $3,000 repair bill for that car, I'd probably just send it. I wouldn't even bother fixing it myself.
No, I would figure. Sell it for $500 or something and just be like...
Yeah, or just sell it for scrap value, or
Right. Scrap value is
clear the
not
check
great,
engine
though.
code and try and sell it before the light comes back.
don't ever do that, kids, if you're listening.
Yes, if you have a car and your engine is knocking, do not ever fill it with 60 weight so the knock goes away, and then sell it as a perfectly running car.
Yeah. Do not sell Kia Souls to a single mother. That's what you need to not do. Or you could do it, but we're advising you not to do that. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like once the value, like the actual value of the vehicle, that's easy. That's like you can do it dead to right numbers to numbers. That's easy. I agree with you, because if you're maintaining the vehicle slowly over the course of a year and it's racking up, see what that's costing you. That makes sense. Maintenance wise, I think it's obviously a case by case basis, but maintenance wise, we're pretty much on board with if it's costing you a fuck ton, get rid of it. Like it might be time.
Yeah.
Are there any other good or bad reasons you can think of to? I can think of really petty ones. I've heard people be like, I'm tired of having a white car. I'd like a black car. These are not the brightest people in the world. I do not claim that these are either my friends or close relations of any description.
I've heard a few like I don't like the color, or like, well, I just wanted X brand, and it's like, that's really your reasoning? Okay.
Yeah.
Or even like, I don't like having, this color interior.
You genuinely heard that?
I've genuinely heard that, yes.
Fuck's sake. I think like on the petty end. I mean, I guess there's something to. I wanted to step back to maintenance a little bit. Like, do you think, because body condition only really matters once it starts affecting the structural elements of the car? Like, if the door has rust on it, who fucking cares, right? Obviously, people don't like to see a rusty car. Like, go out, this is my possession, and it's just like a honking pile of rust. But so I guess if your car is very rusty or has a lot of body damage and it's a lot of money to fix it, there is a point where you start to get pulled over for body damage. Like, there is a point where a cop's like, I'm not sure this is safe.
Yeah.
I think if you ever get pulled over for body damage on a vehicle, like ever, I think that's the sign to get rid of it.
It's a good indicator that it might be time to look into replacing it.
Yeah. That's
that's fair. But yeah, I mean, like, after working at the dealer, I've heard like every petty bullshit.
Give me the petty files. Go ahead.
I remember somebody came in and they bought a brand new limited last gen 4Runner, took delivery, brought it back the next day because the door sill was too high for them to be able to put their arm on it while they were driving comfortably.
Did they not test drive the car?
And they traded it in for a Highlander.
Or the door
and they
sills...
ate like $7,000.
Jesus Christ!
They rolled it over into the Highlander.
Genuinely, that's good. Was it a very short woman?
It was a small Asian lady.
I called it, but that's insane.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The Highlander door sill is lower then, or the seats go higher, or
I don't fucking know.
That's the most That's stupid. That's the worst reason I've ever heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
I
top that.
remember we had somebody refuse to take delivery of a vehicle once because the trim that they test drove had like a console mounted shifter, but the trim that they chose to buy had a column shifter, and they didn't like that.
Is that in like a Tundra or
Didn't
something?
it was some sort of truck. I think
Huh.
it may have been a Tundra. It was
That
probably a Tundra. I
really.
think they were the only ones that came with column
So
shifters.
they didn't like
Console
the column
shifters.
shifter. That's their reasoning.
Yeah, because they
That's it.
test drove a console shifter, but they didn't realize the trim they ordered had a column shifter, and they didn't want it.
I mean, at least they didn't take fucking delivery. Did they pay anything for not taking
They already
delivery?
signed the bill of sale at that
Oh
point.
shit. So what happens then?
Well, fuck, 9 times out of 10, the dealership's just gonna cave and be like, whatever, you're not getting your deposit back or anything, but
Mm.
we can order the trim you want.
I mean, I guess.
Or if they can't afford it, then in those cases, they either pick another car or they lose their deposit and walk.
Right. That's a bad reason to reject a vehicle. Like,
I mean, at the same time, it's like from my perspective, it's like, did you not do your homework? Did you not research what you were buying?
no, you know that. Okay,
But
hold
then
on.
I realized, then yeah, but then you have to remember, like the average person, no, they just walk in and get talked into things, and it's like,
They
oh yeah,
walk
no,
in
we
and they
probably
go,
don't.
"I want Toyota car," and you're like, "Okay,
Yeah, we have plenty of those here. At the
okay, dum
Toyota
dum,
store.
come." Yeah, I had. Yeah, I remember one time someone wanting to upgrade their Hyundai Sonata to the same Hyundai Sonata, the same generation, but the sport variant, because they said I want it to be sporty. So going up trim. Yeah, I wish I was joking. I look in my fucking. I wish I was joking. I said now it's
Like
a
that's the
sport
one
car.
like
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty bad. I laughed in their fucking face, but
we we used to have somebody come in, and like this wasn't somebody of like affluence, like they're just rolling in and
this was
it
a
doesn't
broke
matter.
piece of shit.
This yeah, this wasn't someone of affluence, but they would come in and they would trade their car in religiously as soon
What?
as it hit 30,000 kilometers.
As soon as it hit 30,000 kilometers?
As soon as it hit 30, they would come and trade it in
Why?
for the exact same model, just whatever generation it was now.
I don't understand. Why would you do that?
I don't know. To them,
And they
just
were
as soon
broke.
as it hit 30, it was like it was just broken
Dead
and
car.
dead car.
And they were broke.
They weren't broke, but they weren't like they weren't like you should have no problems trading in your 30,000 kilometer car every year and a half.
That's
Because like I'm sure you know this, but like when you go buy a car, the dealership knows how much money you make, and like I'll
yeah,
be
of
straight
course.
up honest about it. Like if you're making bad financial decisions, you're going to be talked about behind your back. That's
That
just human
is
nature. I'm sorry
the
about it.
the least shocking thing in the fucking world. Wait,
Yeah.
people at a dealership aren't nice? Hold the fuck up. Hold on now. You're dropping some truth bombs.
I don't care if you're buying a Hyundai or a fucking Ferrari. If you're making a bad financial decision, as soon as those finance papers roll across the desk and the finance manager sees them, him and the sales guy are going to have a little laugh together before
Well,
you sign.
maybe that discourages someone from making a bad financial decision, and because they'll be laughed at. That would be cool.
Yeah. But they'll still come out and let you sign those papers because, as far as the dealership's concerned, once you sign, it's the bank's problem if you're not making the payments. They get their cut.
Yep, it is the bank's problem. Yeah, I don't. I mean, none of that surprises me, obviously. But if you are shocked by this, you're gonna have bad news. It happens in other industries too. It's not just them. Yeah, that's really bad actually. I've I don't think I've ever I can't top that. Trading in a car every 30,000 kilometers, I definitely can't top that.
Every
Oh,
30K
I
religiously for the like same model, same trim, same color, everything, every single time.
right. I do have one actually. It's not like that, but it's sort of on the opposite end of that. So this is an
Where
affluent story.
that says anything.
Sorry?
They said they were an Avalon owner. If that people who buy Avalons are just kind of fucking weird in general, but
Yeah, they're pretty weird people. It's one of the most it's an underrated strange person car.
it is. It
It's
like it's not a bad car. It's just in a weird spot because it's like the Camry is so very similar,
yeah,
but like the Avalon looks a little more, I guess, kind of old money-ish. But then it's like
sure.
it's in the price bracket where it's like if you just spend a little more, you could have got a Lexus ES.
What's the other what is the other I think of another one that strange people drive. It was like it's a really bulbous Toyota SUV that they got rid of and now they're bringing it back. Oh
CHR?
shit. No, not it's a big one, but it's like not big inside. It's like a big
Venza.
Venza. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they already
Ve-
brought the Venza back.
Yes, they did. Yeah. So like the 2015 era one, I think. Yeah. Strange people
Yeah.
drive Venzas. That to me, it's a very I don't know what it is about Venzas, but I like it's like everybody who drives a Hyundai Elantra. There's a stereotype. Everybody
Yeah,
who drives a
I
Nissan
never
Altima.
yeah, I never really got it either cuz from my perspective it was like if I wanted if I wanted like a bit more of a like a smaller, more rugged crossover or yeah, crossover. I just get a Rav from that generation.
Right.
Or if I wanted something slightly larger, get a Highlander. So it was just sort of in a weird place. And it wasn't like cheaper than the Highlander
No.
by but like they sold so fucking many first gen Venzas. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and they're like rotting on the streets because like they're a Toyota product and like they're not really desired. So like they had a pretty big depreciation
Yeah.
curve and like so you kind of see people who are like, oh yeah, this is a good buy. It's a Toyota that nobody wants. But it's like if it's a Toyota
If
nobody
there's one
wants,
thing if
yeah,
there's one thing I'll give them, they are pretty roomy on the inside.
sure, yeah. I
Because
mean
they're
they're
wide.
big cars. They're wide ass cars. I had a. There's just driven by strange people who get into strange circumstances. Like I swear I'm not making this up. But
You know what the Venza
hmm?
is?
Go ahead.
It's a Brampton special.
It is a brand. It's a. I see. Okay, I don't agree. I agree with the energy that you're putting out there. I'm not sure I agree. It's a brand. It's like a. It's like a poor part of North York special. Like a. It's like a. It's like a bit of a Markham soccer mom special. It's like
It's a little bit. You know what it was? It was like when the Venza first came out. It was like. It was like. It was like your age. It was like your Asian dad's car, and like he just kind of made it. Came into a little bit of money, so he went and bought a new Venza, and it was like the low key flex.
yes. It's like when you.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, now, like where they are now in the secondhand market, it's like you just opened a barber shop and it's failing.
Uh,
That's the
I
modern Venza owner. Or
I just like
used Venza.
no, because like okay, so I like a number of years ago when I was in college, I worked at a computer shop, right? And I, it's gonna sound like I'm making this up, but I'm not. I had a lady who pulled into our parking lot in a Toyota Venza, and she had sat naved to get home, and it kept bringing her back to our parking lot. No matter what she put in, it would like make it and then go back to the parking lot. And so she was like, if it's too much trouble, do you think you could like basically get me directions to get home because I'm not really sure where I am. So we're like, sure, where's home? Where are you going? She lived okay, this repair shop was in Etobicoke and she lived on the east end of Scarborough and she had been out getting groceries. So she'd driven basically like 60 to
That's
70.
like, I was gonna say that's like an hour.
I know. That's what I said. It's gonna sound like I'm making this up, but she genuinely drove all that way and was like, "I'm not home yet." Do you know what I mean? And I look,
Don't you?
I
It's like, don't you know like what it looks like
I
around where
know.
you live? Like even like I've never been great with directions, but like if I travel to and from somewhere a lot, I pick up on like, oh, this is what it looks like.
Yeah,
So
I
you'd
know.
think you'd pick up on that between
I
home and the grocery store.
I don't remember if it was like she was going to a new grocery, like a specialty ethnic grocery store or something to that tune. I think she was an Arab lady. But like, what fucked me up was that it sounds like the start of a scam call. Like, oh, I'm lost. Can you help? But like, I got in her car and I put in her address and it fucking rerouted back to the computer shop. It's strange. And like she drove for an hour without stopping, being like, I'm not home yet. Like, that's a Venza owner. Just nothing there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Just
That's the only person who bought it. Like, well,
sure
not the
trying.
only. No, they're God bless their heart, they're trying. But like, fuck's sake, I've never. And like, that's the thing too, right? Is like, I wouldn't. She said some crazy shit too at the end, like, I think God wanted me here. You guys are angels. And I looked at the guy I was working with and I went, we need to go inside. This lady's crazy. Like, what, in your Toyota Venza with the tan interior. Like, it's just enough with the tan interior. Enough with the Toyota. They just look like cars, like, for people who weren't sure.
They're by NPCs for NPCs.
No, but they really are. And I think they kind of, like, are not, like... They're okay, but they're not like Toyota reliable, is my understanding.
Yeah,
like,
every time you pass one, they just disappear once you get 50 feet ahead of them.
Yeah.
They're just no
yeah.
longer there.
They just despawn behind you.
Yeah, they despawn.
I don't like them. I think they're ugly and bulbous, and it looks like you were like, I want a minivan, but I'm not ready to give up like on my on life yet, because they do genuinely look like the Sienna if you squished it, right? There's nothing wrong with a good used minivan for utility. There's a lot wrong with buying in this era buying a brand new minivan because you've just like whatever. They used to be cheap, now they're expensive. The Venza is just it's a cope car. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's also like you were saying earlier. I could have bought a Lexus, but this Venza means I'm not flexing my wealth. So it's like
that's what it was like when it first came out. The top trims were like sort of stealth Lexus because they were pretty decent on the inside, like for their time.
Yeah, totally. Actually, it's a good segue because we wanted to talk about this. Cars. I mean, you could introduce it because honestly, it's your topic. But just what we were saying before about the quality of cars.
Okay, so yeah, it's like, so cars interior wise, at least these days, have like everything in them is sort of ingrained in the tech of the car. Like tech is a big part of modern cars, and what I noticed or was thinking about, and I don't know why I was thinking about it, is like there's like a weird kind of delta, or I don't know if bell curve is maybe a better way to describe it, but basically it's like technology in cars has made everything on like the economy side or like entry level side of cars better. If you get into like a mid 2000s, Corolla, Civic, whatever, and compare it to what a modern one is like on the inside, even base model, it's a huge upgrade.
Enormous.
In the modern car. But if you get into like an old S-Class or 7 Series, and then you get into a new one, all of the nice premium feeling materials and stuff that they used in the old one are just sort of replaced by plastic and screens, and it doesn't feel as nice or luxurious to be in.
Right.
As the old one. Like I'd even go so far as to say I would rather have an old S-Class with a modern head unit over a new one, because they just feel like a nicer place to be in.
Well, car. So let's talk about like I agree with you when you pointed out. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Like you're absolutely correct. Here's my theory, and then maybe you can tell me if I'm completely off base. I have obviously there's the standard like manufacturers are cheaping out but I think that's too basic of an idea.
Yeah, I don't think that covers it entirely.
No, I have this feeling in my brain that like there's this push. I'm kind of been proven wrong with the latest BMW offerings, but like there's this push towards like fuel economy. And like once upon a time, land barges were like heavy set, thick metal, like like everything was thick,
Mhm.
like. And now because they need even if you factor in like hybrid systems and all this stuff, which is heavy, you really got to start shaving down like the weight of other things. And like we used to talk about, everything counts. Like if you were to shave down the thickness of the leather, the fucking now everything's plastic actually rather than like billet metal or something like that. So I think there's something to be said that basically fuel economy restrictions are probably killing the luxury. And not that I give that much of a shit, but I think that there's something to be said about that. On the other hand, you have economy vehicles, and I mean screens have become, they used to be expensive, now they're cheap.
Yeah.
And yeah.
See, like I'm not entirely sure I buy the fuel economy thing, because it's like the whole fuel economy thing is based on like carbon credits and stuff. So it's like
Sure.
you could use your lower end economy models to be a bit of a cheaper model
Mm,
to have credits to actually make your nice models feel more luxurious.
right.
So I don't buy that. I think it's just like you said, screens are cheap these days, and people equate a big screen with being luxurious when that isn't, at least I don't think, necessarily the case.
I okay. Well, I can see what you're saying, and that's a fair. That's I guess I should have really thought we're talking about like like in this example we're talking about the
And
S
it's
class.
not to like, it's not that like modern luxury cars are trying to save weight or anything for like the new M5 is like a 5,400 pound car. It weighs more than the old Tacoma.
Isn't that mostly because of the hybrid system though? Like what is the
Yeah,
where
but
does the
it's
weight?
but it's like the hybrid system adds a few 100 pounds, but it's still like a heavy fucking
Right.
car.
Hmm.
We without the hybrid system. So, and then like
Yeah.
the S class is really heavy. The new C63 with the 4-cylinder hybrid also really heavy. Um, you know,
Right.
like Rolls-Royce Cullinan, for example. Like that's probably like the best example of like that probably feels on the, and I've never been in one, but on the inside like an old luxury car.
The new cult like the SUV is the Cullinan, right?
Yeah, or honestly any Rolls-Royce realistically.
I've been in a Phantom. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously a quality ride. I will say, um, it was one of those rental cars where like it kind of gets clapped to shit. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't think
Yeah.
it's a good yardstick. But I do tend to agree with you. I, I just don't understand. It feels like it's this issue that we're discussing, this specific issue. Do you think it's limited to the Germans or is it extended into the Japanese and the British? I know Rolls Royce is technically like German now, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Um yeah, you know what? I think it has kind of extended into definitely the like US domestic market. Like if you
They've
get
never
into
been
like
great.
a Cadillac or something. Um def and a little bit into the Japanese market. Like everyone said like the outgoing Lexus interiors were a bit dated, but like
Yes.
they were nice to the touch.
Well, the materials were really
It
good.
felt like a nice place to be.
Yeah. And I do tend to agree they're a bit dated, but I think this do you think that the gap narrowing between what we consider an economy car and like what is currently available as a luxury vehicle, is it just big fuck off screen is so unbelievably common that it like looks cheap now?
I mean, in a way, yeah. Like you get a base model Corolla or Civic, and it's got a big screen in it.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at the outgoing, like the 2020, like Lexus IS 350, and I know that like I do tend to agree. I do think it looks a little dated, but the way that the screen is tucked in, like the way that like it's not just a giant protruding like fucking tumor, like
Or like,
that. Yeah, it's better.
even look at like the 2023 or 2024 IS 350 interior. Like they updated it and they made it like a tablet style infotainment, but like everything around that is still sort of nice materials, and
Yeah,
it all flows well and is cohesive as an interior design.
right. I think honestly with the
Versus
two-tone
like
leather, I don't
go
like
look
the
at like, I don't know, the new 340i interior.
Yeah, I hate that. It looks bare. That's what I think. It's like everything had a dedicated button or knob, and it was like you touched it, and like the little, you turned the volume up, and the little piece was like,
Yeah.
a billet to
They had
lumen
like a
piece.
nice weight to them and a
Yes,
satisfying
a
click.
little click. Yeah, and now it's like touch the screen, idiot. Or the knobs are fucking plastic, which I don't understand this. So like BMW is a very arrogant company. Um, they think their shit don't stink. They renamed the street their headquarters is on to Ultimate Drive. It's just arrogance out the ass. Um, but like the actual like that it used to be that a BMW was like everything you touched was nice. Like it was like at least they were of quality, right? Especially in ye olden days, before
Yeah.
you kids were born, if you're listening. But now, like you touch the knob and you can see the shiny fucking fake chrome plastic on the knobs in the three. Like you can see it with I can see how shitty it is. It looks like a Tiger Electronics handheld. Like it looks like a
Yeah.
nasty piece of plastic. And it can't be that fucking expensive to make a nice knob. That's sounds weird, but
Yeah. Like like even like plastic wise, like I don't know, they used to just be like a thicker, more satisfying feeling
right,
button or knob to turn. Like everything in a new BMW just feels kind of hollow.
right.
That's how I would describe sort of new plastic buttons. Is it just it feels like if you press too hard, you're just gonna break it.
I yeah, that's it. And this is the thing. That's how I feel. I like my car's interior. I will say the only thing I don't really like are the knobs, and it does feel sometimes like if I just tugged hard enough, they'd come right off. But my car is not an Audi, respectively. So I'm sort of fine with it. It's not the end of the world. But like I would be very upset if I purchased a vehicle, like that. And I was just kind of let down by that. Like I'd be quite upset. You know who does do you're not going to like this. You know who does do quality materials in their shit surprisingly is Genesis. The actual thickness of the material on like a Genesis seat, you don't need to say I already know what you're gonna fucking, but just the thickness of the materials and everything is surprisingly better than most other luxury brands, and it's because they have to be clear.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like they need to do that, otherwise nobody would have any reason to buy them. But then at the same time, it feels more premium, but I also feel like they start falling apart quicker still
I
than
I'm
other
not sure
brands.
on that part, but I would tend to likely agree with you, or at least see, I see where you're coming from. I just think if you're I we're giving Hyundai credit. Oh, I am giving Hyundai credit right now. And you sort of did. You said you agree. But but it is shocking because like, you know, I know that it's like you're right. It'll probably fall apart faster. It'll probably be like just good for the first 3 years, and then once it's off the lease, it's going to start disintegrating or something. But it's nice to the touch, and honestly, the way they lay out their interiors, I feel like is better than BMW's nasty fucking interior. I don't like BMW's interior. It bothers me. Like it
Yeah, like I don't like their. It looks unfinished. It looks like they did like a beta of what their interior was supposed to be, and then they were just forgot. and they were just like, well, we got to release it now.
Yeah, this just to make sure that we're on the same page. I'm looking at this when I'm thinking about the BMW interior, and this is I guess the 3 Series, so that's,
Yeah,
it
that's the
just
340i
yeah, there's
series. Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing here. It
Yeah.
it's almost like it's flipped. Cuz economy cars used to have nothing, like you had it there's the tape deck, that's it, right?
Yeah, and now it's like in something like that, you just get the big fuck off screen that does everything, and the rest of the interior is just like a
Yeah,
wasteland.
the rest of the interior they tell you to go fuck yourself. Like, to me it does not make sense. This is the Genesis interior I saw recently. It's called Dune, the color, and like you can genuinely tell just by how the corners, like where the stitching connects together on these like seats, how thick that material is.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's, yeah, for what it is, but it's just to say that, like, what world is it in where I'm like, I'd rather sit in this than the BMW interior. Like,
Yeah, and
it's
like
strange.
it's like it's designed better. Like it just looks better to be in.
This
It has a
pains us
design
greatly.
language that isn't just like, well, here's some screen and some dashboard.
No, completely. What's even cooler is like this, all the stuff that sort of turns on in the dash, that like all the screens in the middle, like they're not like in your face, like they're very plain screens, like sort of for the aircon and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
like this one, like I don't like, it's not amazing, but I don't mind this, but I just know in every other car it's like fucking flashing, like RGB fucking, it's just, what do you want?
See, like I think BMW should have stuck with the design language that they used in the interior of the current Z4
Mm.
that I just posted. Because like it's modern enough and like you still get your screens and everything, but it's like it's styled. It's not just
Yeah, it is
green
styled. Like,
dash.
it is genuinely styled. Like, that's the whole thing I don't understand. There's nothing to this 3 Series interior. It's like they took, you know what it is? It's like they took the Z4 interior and they went, okay, what can we remove? And just went,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, my hot take is I think the Z4 is currently the best car that BMW makes.
that's not even that unreasonable. Fucking Z4 is super similar.
I would take one over an M2. I'd take one over an M3 and M4
I agree with you. Wholeheartedly, I agree with you. Like, it
over any of those.
doesn't make sense. They look better than any car BMW makes, hands down. Like,
Yeah.
because they have retained a much more realistic fucking grill. They don't got the sniffer, you know?
No,
They're not taking a
they're not
big whiff.
boxy. They're proportioned well. The
Yeah.
interior design language is better.
I love
than all
that
of the
little,
other models.
I love that little, like, little winglet. I don't know what you'd call it. That little fucking whoop on the trunk. Looks great.
Yeah.
They make it in a fun purple color, too. No, that's great. I fully agree with you. I think every one of their other cars looks like shit. How much do you want to bet that this was designed by someone else? Like, not the guy who did the M3, M4, like all the fucking stupid, like the M5. Don't get me fucking started on that monstrosity.
That's a good question.
Let's find out. Okay, Anders Warming.
Because Z4 came out when the previous M3 was still being sold, so it would have been designed in the mid to late 2010s.
Okay, let's just have a look. I'm very, very curious because the current BMW designer is a little bit of a well, not, I know it's a team, but it's like the lead designer is definitely a bit of a pariah.
Z4 was the G29 was designed by Calvin Luck, an Australian automotive designer.
Okay.
What are we on, the G series?
Not sure.
The G80 M3 was designed by Marcus Searing, who was previously the head of exterior design at Mini.
I'm seeing M5 G90 exterior designer Jose Casas.
I'm looking at the M3.
Oh, sorry, you're looking at the M3.
Yeah,
What
I don't want
was-
to know who designed the current M5 because they were obviously blind. So
What was the first Okay, first of all, if Jose Casas is listening by any possibility, fuck you. That is some ugly shit, my friend. Figure it the fuck out. Amazing you're this old and designing garbage. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. How did you land this job? Thank you. Sorry. And the M3 designer?
Marcus Syring, Syring.
Marcus, you're on fucking thin ice, young man. All right, that you
Oh,
know.
I get it. I understand now. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna post these
Oh,
in
I'd love
chat.
to see this. But Marcus, you are genuinely on fucking thin ice. Jose, he's out on his ass. Marcus, you fucking figure it out. I've had it up to here. Okay? You can't have people. You cannot have people in the aftermarket fixing your cars for you. Okay, this is not amateur
Okay.
hour.
This
Yes, this.
weird, slightly raping looking fellow
Oh, Jesus
designed
Christ.
the M3.
Okay. That's Marcus.
Yeah,
Can we say that?
and this well-dressed smart man is the one that did the Z4.
It makes complete fucking sense right now.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. We're not gonna post these photos, but if you were interested as to what the gentleman looks like who designed the M3, who maybe doesn't want you to be happy, you could look him up. But for the sake of not upsetting the German people, we're not gonna. But the other gentleman, I'm just saying, man, Z4 looks good. Z4 designer looks like a human. You know, coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah.
Z4 designer doesn't look like a lizard person.
Doesn't look good. Designer
good.
looks like he's probably got some skeletons in his closet.
Literally, yeah. The M5 designer, going back to it again, figure it the fuck out, buddy.
The M5 designer,
yeah,
he looks like the person you don't want to talk to at like a hipster coffee shop.
the M5 designer looks like he brings beer to high school parties.
He brings IPAs.
He brings beer he brewed himself in his garage to high school parties.
His homebrewed IPAs.
His homebrew. Dude, how do you manage to design a car that looks like a melting slug? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you'd have to try real fucking hard. People approved it. I can't get over that. People approved this.
Yeah.
It looks like the car hasn't loaded. That's what I hate about the M5. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, my PC will catch up eventually. And
Yeah.
it doesn't. It doesn't. I just don't know how that's every single one of these cars, except for the Z4, God bless that little fella. Like, every single one of these cars genuinely looks either unfinished or like malformed in some way.
All the current M cars, as impressive as they are from like a performance perspective, because I mean there's no denying it, like they're fast. They all look like they just couldn't afford to license what they actually wanted the car to look like. They look like GTA cars.
No, they do. They genuinely
Corvette
look
suffers
like
from the same thing.
Sorry?
Said the Corvette suffers from the same thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel less. I don't like the C8. I don't like it. The back being boxy is strange. I know we've talked about this, but like at the very least it doesn't repulse me. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I'm just not happy with it. The M5 genuinely repulses me. Like, it looks like I look at it and I think about bad memories in my life, which is the last thing I want a car to be doing, is bringing up bad memories from my childhood. So, personally, gross. Apparently this guy who designed the M5 is now like the head of design at BMW, so they promoted his ass. I don't know how.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because look at everything they're cranking out right now.
Oh, sorry, head of exterior design, mid-sized and luxury cars, BMW. Ugh.
Yeah, go look at the next Gen 7 series, and it'll make total sense.
Yeah. I hate everything he does. Genuinely. It's like this is okay. Little aside, if you don't mind. I work with a lot of brands. You have to learn how to honor that brand properly. Like you can't. There are standards with which you need to be held. I know I'm a slightly different kind of designer, but I'm just saying. I just find it strange that it feels like everybody who's working at BMW is doing their best to ruin any heritage that this company has. Like it feels intentional. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they maybe hate BMW? Did BMW kill their parents?
Look at the 2025 7 Series, and like that's all you need to know about where they're heading.
Oh, good. Is it worse? What the fuck? Oh my god. What doesn't that look like? They had like another one that's not a 7 Series. It's like that looks like this. Ah.
It looks like there's like a little second BMW like peeking out from behind the curtains that are the radiator grill.
Why do they do that? Why is it wearing a costume? Oh my! If you haven't, viewer, if you haven't,
it's like there's a small car in there, but it's wearing a fat suit.
It does. Why do they insist on doing this? They did it with the i8, but from the ass. Oh my god! Was this the concept? Oh god, that looks so shit. You have to get it in black, otherwise you're gonna constantly see the little car peeking out of the big car.
Yeah.
That's not the first time. This is the thing I don't understand. The i8 I could understand. It was a mistake that the rear looks like it's birthing a Porsche. But like why is it's like it's wearing a little costume, like a little like ghost outfit. If you look at it in white, it's like going out to trick or treat. Yeah. What's wrong with it? Oh my god. They have to be doing this on purpose. Oh, and look at the interior. What the fuck? The seats look like sleeping bags. They look like they're quilted sleeping bags. They don't look like they're tight to the vehicle. Look at that.
Yeah, no, they're just...
What's wrong?
Yeah.
There's nothing...
If there is one thing I'll give the new 7 Series, there's one thing that I like about it is, as a rear passenger, you do get at least a decent screen for entertainment back there. So you don't have to look.
Fuck off. That's the real screen? That looks like a concept.
Yeah.
I'm double checking this. Fuck me. That has to be I'll wait till I see it on a production car. I don't buy that.
No, look, that's literally a photo of a production car.
That is wild. Wow. I mean, if you ever wanted to shut your fucking kids up, buy a 7 Series. You would get so fucking motion sick in that car. If you can't look at screens normally in a vehicle, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's motion sick city. That's never an option for me. I couldn't even imagine.
You can't do screens in the car?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that would make me fucking sick. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. If you bought that thing, I would still laugh in your fucking face. Like, all the money in the world and you can't buy taste. I don't understand it.
Yeah, like I don't know, it looks just weird.
It genuinely looks like a little old BMW is peeking out. It's like, is it okay to come out?
Yeah. It looks like something I'd expect like a Looney Tunes villain to drive.
It does. It looks like a Looney Tunes villain car. And that's not a compliment. I want to be very clear. Not a compliment. Like, do you know... yeah, okay. I don't know. I just... Those... Okay, also, I'm gonna say this, and I mean this with the full... I'm saying this with the full breadth of fucking fuck you. Those lights, like the top, not actually the headlights lights on the 7 Series.
Yep.
Hyundai Kona. Literally the headlights from the Kona. Or is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Literally the headlights from the 2022 Hyundai Kona. Exactly. It could be the same fucking part number. Like, that's the same thing. Why do they everything looks the same, and it's not a good thing. Okay, we can move on from this fucking catastrophe. Oh, we were talking about interiors, but
We did end on interiors. Is big
I
fuck
guess
off
we
screen
did.
in the
Big
back to
fuck
that
off screen
interior.
in the back. Jesus. I'm depressed now. I like, okay, BMW is going down the toilet. What's left? Mercedes is a plastic they're a plastic manufacturer. Audi?
Yeah, like Audi still like RS3, RS6,
Yeah, even
RS5.
just like for standard luxury vehicles, like, like if
Yeah, I
they're still doing the A8, is that they still doing that?
yeah, they're still doing the A8
Yeah.
and like A7, A6 and all that. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, like
Christ, the interiors.
I'd say Audi. Haven't seen any of Lexus next gen stuff, so
Has
I
that
don't
been
know
revealed yet?
them. Yeah, has not been revealed yet. Um, like there's some Mercedes models that I like, I guess. Like, um, I forget if it's not the AMG GT anymore. It's whatever replaced the AMG GT.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's
I just
decent.
remembered. I want to step back for a second. I had a story and
Oh,
I forgot to tell it, and it's about that exact vehicle. When we were talking about bad reasons to upgrade a car, and you're talking about people trading it, my dad worked at a high-end luxury dealer. Well, he still does. And rich people do stupid shit. We'll get back to interiors in a second, but they had a gentleman come in and purchase a brand new. Well, I think it was maybe like a 1,000 kilometer car, AMG GT, when they first re-released the GT, or sorry, I guess whatever. We're talking at that time like $200,000, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. He drove it for 1 week. He brought it back. He said, "I hate this car. I want a Lamborghini." He lost $40,000 on the car. And he said, "I don't care."
That's just the rich person version of the Forerunner lady.
It 100% is. But it's just, I couldn't imagine, like, how fucking rich do you have to be where you're like, I know I will lose like, that's a lot of money. It's not a little bit of money. That's not, I lost a few thousand, where it's like, oh, I'm not worried about it.
Lost a whole ass Camry on that deal.
Yeah, a whole Camry, and drove away in a Huracan. Like, it's crazy, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to shitty interiors. So I know the new Lexus stuff. Fucking, have the Americans done anything?
No, not really. Honestly, where their best stuff is right now, from my opinion, is like in the Tahoes and the Escalades.
Yeah,
And
I
like
figure.
pickup truck interiors.
I had
Is probably what they're doing best at the moment.
back in February. I ordered an. Was it February? Yeah, it was February. I ordered an Uber Black just for shits and giggles, because I don't know, Continental is paying. But what showed up was a Tahoe. I think either a Tahoe. Yeah, no. What's the big one, the 7-seat? Is it the Tahoe or the Yukon?
The Tahoe and the Yukon are the same. They're just Yukon is GMC, Tahoe is Chevrolet.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, they're the same. Okay, whatever.
So
Whatever the
GMC
one.
is technically slightly more premium
Mm.
than Chevrolet.
Is there a short one, or is one was one a 5-seater and one a 7-seater?
No, I think the Tahoe and the Yukon are both the big, like 7-seaters.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Suburban. The Suburban is also Chevrolet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope,
Okay.
nope. Suburban's GMC.
Oh, so one of these fucking cars is 5 seats. I don't know which fucking one.
GMC's. I mean, it's literally all the same company. Like Chevy, GM,
Yes,
Cadillac, they're
yes.
all the same.
Okay, fuck it. Whatever the 7-seat fucking one is of those stupid line of cars.
Chevy Suburban.
Okay, whatever. Fuck. I think it was. Now I'm thrown off. Regardless, one of those fucking cars, and it showed up, and I was like, ho, we're gonna get into this. I was very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the leather in that car. to give the Americans a bone, because it was a cold night. It was a snow. It was the night of the big snowstorm in February that we had, and
Mm.
you know, I was surprised. I was genuinely surprised. I was like, "Fuck, man! Like, it's nice to be in here." Like, they had two bucket seats at the back rather than a bench.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's what would be technically a 6-seater at that point. It could be a wait, shit, that's still seven. No, it's still 7-seater. It could be an 8-seater. That's what I'm thinking. Um, yeah, no, it was like two bucket seats in the back, and then there was an additional row in the back, and like they have all their own heater controlled. Like, it was lovely. For rear passengers, I find that that's a rarity for starters.
Yeah,
Um,
like that's what I think domestic brands are doing best right now is
yeah,
the like luxurious, like the big SUVs and the big trucks, and they just kind of forget that everything else just exists to make them profit, to make their high-end SUVs and trucks a bit
I
better.
yeah, I agree. I would love at some point to take a peek at the equivalent, well, not equivalent, but the Cadillac, the Escalade, because I could not imagine like how much better it could be. I can't. I've
Yeah, no,
never
like the
understood
top
Escalade.
Escalades on the inside are really nice. Or oh god, what's the big Lincoln? The Nautilus?
No, the not. I don't think the Nautilus is the big one. I think the Navigator, or did they recently restructure? Because I know that they had like,
No, it isn't the Nautilus. You're right. It's the Navigator.
yeah, the Navigator. Those are. If I was gonna buy a big fuck off American SUV, it would probably be a Navigator. Because I trust Ford more than I trust Chevy, GM, Cadillac.
Well, I mean, like if you get an Escalade, it literally comes with a version of the V8 they use in the Corvette. So it's hard to get more reliable than something like that.
That's fair. It's a good point. I don't know. I would love. This is not. I think you'll agree. Like, this is not a thing that we typically delve into because we're not the luxury car buyer, and I don't think we ever really will be. Obviously, anybody can appreciate luxury, like no shit, but like it's not our world. But I would love to learn, maybe not learn more about it, but just have a taste of it. You know?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't think I'd ever be the luxury SUV buyer. You know what? I'll I'll be honest. I would own a G wagon.
Would you really?
I would
I
own a
hate you
G
for
wagon.
that. I hate you for that.
But I wouldn't. I would own. I'd specifically like the G55
Mm. Why do you specifically like the G55?
because the 5.5 liter supercharged V8 that they used in that generation is just such a tank of an engine and will make just so much power and torque with even just like a pulley and a tune. It's ridiculous.
Hmm.
I would take it over the 6.3 liter. I'd take it over the V12.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I don't believe in my heart of hearts that the G-Wagon chassis is made for a luxurious experience.
It's not.
And
It's not. It's made the G Wagon exists to basically say like get out of the way, poor person. Like
yeah,
that's what it does.
but I think that's kind of where you lose me a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Cuz like
Yeah.
I
No, I
don't
get it.
that's not a thing. There's no thing. There's no thing. There's nothing for me that in that experience. So, I'm just curious. I'm
I will
like
say like one of the small features I guess of them that I like is they have a very very satisfying door close noise
yes.
and they have a very satisfying locking noise.
I do
Literally sounds like closing and locking a vault. And
I
I do
tend to
appreciate that.
agree. I'm on board with that. I just find I don't know. I just find myself like I look at that and I'm just like go fuck yourself. Like anybody who drives one of those, I just have a
No, I get it.
difficulty respecting them. Just a bit much for me. I don't know.
Get it.
Call me
Like
crazy.
they realistically for the money don't make sense at all.
No,
But I
not
do
at
like
all.
the G55.
If we ever had the opportunity, I would love to just go around sampling luxury SUVs, but I think that's the most white girl salesman clocks you immediately type thing that you can ever possibly do. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not going to
Yeah,
be like, "Oh yeah, I'm interested." Like they know immediately. I think The only thing worse than that is going to a Ferrari dealership and being like, yeah, I'm interested, and you're wearing your fucking,
Yeah,
standard
like
t-shirt.
for me, it's like I don't really, and I say this after saying I like the G55 AMG, but I don't
Yeah.
really get the performance SUV.
Uh,
I understand why you'd want the luxury SUV. I
sure.
don't understand why you'd want like a Urus.
No. I think that I just think if you like the Urus, if you're like, I can't wait to own a Urus. Well, we know why they made it. They made it to capture like Asian white
They made it to
mom
capture Gen Z people.
Gen Z clout. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
it is.
I don't know. I don't get like the Urus or like the RS Q8 or stuff like that.
No, I don't understand it at all. You know, it has a terrible interior that I'm just realizing, and it's a very expensive SUV. That's a luxury SUV. The fucking Hummer,
It's
the EV.
oh fuck, they're always horrid. They
I
were
know,
horrid
but
when they first came out.
yeah, but they weren't this much money when they first came out.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like the Hummer EV's whole thing is like, look at
Rugged.
this big fucking honking ass truck that you can have, and it's powered by batteries,
I hate them. I really hate
so
them.
it's good for the planet. Like that's sort of its whole. Because like I've said
That's
this
its
before, like if you
shtick.
actually wanted a truck that is an EV to do truck duties, there is the F-150 Lightning, I think is the trim, which
Yeah,
is like the more achievable EV truck that will do truck things. And then on the other side of things, there's the Rivian R1T.
right. And now they have the R2 that's coming, and it's going to be no, sorry, the R1
Yeah,
R1T is the truck, right? The
R1T,
R1,
R1S is the SUV,
yes.
and now they have something. I forget what the new one's name is.
It's the R2 and the R3 or whatever. R3 is coming. I was just talking to the fucking Rivian guy, and I completely have forgotten already. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, and this is like the small, um, I don't, I guess like CUV sized ish.
Right. Okay,
Like
so
it's
the R2 is coming in 2026, just so we're clear. Uh the R3 has no date on it, I don't think. Yeah, there's no, it's just at some point they're going to have like this very small one. The R2 is the one that it is coming soon, and it's going to be like, you know,
mid-size
like high
crossover
60s,
size.
mid-size crossover, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's going to be your RAV4 size
yeah.
or whatever, Corolla Cross. Yeah, RAV4, whatever the fuck. I feel bad. I've already forgotten all of this. But that's, yeah, at that point, like, I just like I'm wondering, like, it's easy to build a luxurious car when the price tag is fucking whatever, like, with the Rivian stuff, like their original price tags in the R1 and in the R1S and T, whatever, much higher, right? I am interested to see when they scale it down where it's still a luxury vehicle, where it's still, X5 money, right? Let's say,
Yeah,
what is
no,
that
like
going to look like?
I was mainly just saying like if you wanted an EV truck and you had a Hummer EV money,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Rivian
yeah, I
just
see.
makes more sense.
No, yeah, that's on a fucking tangent then. No, I agree. I don't understand why you would. They're very like I've said this to people. I was very shocked when I saw Rivians on the road because I genuinely believed, I'm like, there's really no more original designs, and when they did that fucking like the little eyes looking thing on the head, I'm like, oh, there is. Like, it's very clearly a Rivian. You know what I mean? Like, I was very surprised. You see something
Yeah.
like
You know
BMW,
what
Mercedes.
else has similar design language where it's like, oh, it's literally one of those? Lucid Air.
I hate Lucids.
I know, but like they're very every time I see one, it's like, oh, that's a Lucid.
Yeah, they've got their little helmet on.
I can pick up on it right away.
Yeah, 100%. I just know to avoid them. Just don't like them. They are very apparent, but I think it's like, I'm not gonna lie, the like just like single line on the front for the headlight like thing, like fucking Hyundai is doing it with the new Kona I just saw, so like it's not that special. It's just that stupid little helmet that they have. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just being silly. I'm being a silly guy.
No,
I
like I don't really care for the Lucid
Oh,
Air.
okay.
I just
Like,
get I'm here nor there about them. I just like they have a very distinct design language
they
and I
do.
recognize them immediately.
The stupid little helmet. They do. I agree.
Yeah.
I I will say, at some point, I think it would be interesting to sort of not review. That's not the right word, but to be able to like jump into like maybe some cars that like we wouldn't conventionally find ourselves in and have opinions about that. I think that would be fun. Nick, steal some cars from the dealership. We need to start having reviews
What what am I gonna get from a Toyota dealership that we haven't
that we haven't torn apart.
that we
Uh,
don't really have any experience with? Like, oh look, here's this mid-range crossover that's just like every other mid-range
yeah.
crossover.
The only thing I can think of is the new Land Cruiser. Which
Honestly, the only things I can think of are like maybe the Land Cruiser, but it's honestly probably just gonna feel a lot like the Forerunner
wouldn't shock me.
or like the Crown.
Crown would be interesting, but yeah, no, that's a shame. I don't know. I think it's fun to spread our wings a little bit and try to find things that we're maybe not conventionally in love with. Like this luxury SUV thing has been really fun to talk about for me personally. Really enjoying it. So, I think we could honestly we're doing pretty good here. I don't want it to go too long. I know we had one more thing to talk about, but maybe we'll save it. We wanted to do a little bit of a would you rather between it's stuff that conventionally competes and stuff that we haven't talked a little bit about. So we'll save that because I do want to have it. I think we could spin that onto a much more extensive list because then we could really go into it.
Let's save that one for when there's more time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty pleased that we should rent a fucking Yukon on Turo for a day and just drive around and do Yukon owner type things or like a whatever suburban. Just like go get a shawarma.
Like go shopping.
Yeah, go get a shawarma. We could like
maybe it's different because like most suburban and Yukon owners here are like stay-at-home housewives.
Yeah. Oh, I have one more thing about Yukons and Suburbans. We're having a discussion at work today, and I would love your opinion on this.
Okay.
If you were to pin a woman as a husband killer, what kind of car would she drive? My first thought was G-Wagon. My second thought was Tahoe Suburban. The kind of car that a female murderer would drive, and she killed her husband. What do you got?
I wouldn't say G-Wagon, but I do agree with Tahoe Suburban. Or oh my god, I think it's is it a Nissan SUV or is it an Infiniti? It's not the Armada, it's one of like the QX models.
There's a lot of QX models. There is a QX80, which is basically the Armada, isn't it? And that's the Nissan Armada, right? Which one's the Armada?
Is it? I think.
Yeah,
So
the Armada
Nissan
is the QX80.
Armada. Okay, then maybe I am thinking of the QX80.
I could see that. Do they do a QX90?
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking of the QX80. So yeah, I agree with Tahoe and Suburban.
Yeah.
Or sorry, fuck. Suburban and Yukon.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also think QX80.
And we said this. My thought was not only does it have to be that, it has to be wrapped in a pastel color of some description, right? Either like I said initially powder pink or like a baby blue. And I swear to God, Nick, on the children I'll never have, as I was driving my boss, this is not whatever, one of my managers, back to her hotel, what should appear on the horizon but a baby blue fucking Tahoe?
Right off the scene.
Fresh off the fucking scene. That bitch is guilty.
Yeah, I see it as more as like Tahoe or sorry, Suburban, Yukon, or QX80, but it's like black and covered in swirl.
Oh my god. It's never been washed. It's never been washed.
Yeah, or it's like it's been washed but with like a sponge and some dirty water.
Or better yet, it used to get washed, and then her husband stopped paying attention to her possessions, and now it doesn't get washed, and that's why she killed
Yes.
him. She killed him because he didn't take it to the quick wax, quick wash and wax.
Yeah.
Fuck. So basically, if you don't want to die, don't buy your wife a Yukon Suburban or QX80. It's pretty grim, but it is what it is. We don't make the rules. Killers often just get away with it. So I think that's basically good for us for now. Probably ran a little long, but I had a lot of fun. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah,
We should delve into more niches.
Yeah, we'll save the would you rather for next time.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not, you should follow us on Instagram, and that's Curbrash_YT or shit. One day I'll get it, Nick. If you're interested, we have post stuff on Spotify, and I believe next week we may be skipping a week. We'll post a note about it, and yeah, I guess that's that. We'll catch you next time. We'll have a fun time doing a little Would You Rather. Thanks, guys.